want to make it once again, America, once again, the most attractive place in the world for job creators. And it's not just because I love job creators. It's because I love jobs. I want more good jobs for the American people, and I want such competition for good workers that salaries and wages go up so people make more money. I want to help the middle class of America, and I'm going to do it. We're poised to see a resurgence of American economic vitality.
In the spotlight tonight, Mitt Romney and the Republicans' plan to help the country experience what Romney calls, quote, a resurgence of American economic vitality. President Obama today described the Romney plan with more specificity than Romney did.
Governor Romney and his allies in Congress believe deeply in the theory that we tried during the last decade. The theory that the best way to grow the economy is from the top down. Governor Romney and the Republicans who run Congress believe that if you simply take away regulations and cut taxes by trillions of dollars, the market will solve all of our problems on its own. If you agree with that, you should vote for them. And I promise you, they will take us in that direction.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell confirmed that when talking about tax reform.
But without presidential leadership, it simply can't happen. Controlling only one chamber, Republicans in Congress can only do so much.
Joining me now is Robert Reich, former Labor Secretary under President Clinton, now a professor of economics at the University of California, Berkeley. Professor, today I heard Mitt Romney announce how he was going to bring this country back. And the plan, the specifics that I heard were two things. One, a tax increase. He didn't use that phrase, but he said he's going to raise tariffs on Chinese products. So that is a tax increase, as we know, that paid by American consumers. And then secondly, repeal Obamacare. And that is, as far as I could tell, the complete Romney plan on getting the economy running again. How's it sound to you?
Well, if that's the complete plan, it's not nearly as bad as the plan that I've heard from Romney in past months. It's bad enough. I mean, raising tariffs on Chinese goods is going to be a tax on average American consumers. Getting rid of Obamacare, including all of the things that people like about Obamacare, that is the requirement that insurers provide coverage to pre-existing conditions and allow parents to have coverage for their children, even their children up to age 21, and so on and so forth. I mean, Romney wants to get rid of all of that, take us backwards to a time when 50 million Americans did not have any health care, and they had to end up in emergency rooms, and we all ended up paying anyway because we support those emergency rooms. But, Lawrence, there's something else. I mean, Romney has said, and he has said repeatedly, he wants to cut taxes on the very wealthy. The nonpartisan Tax Policy Center here in Washington has done a computation of what Romney's taxes would do, and they've concluded that the typical millionaire or someone earning over $1 million gets $950,000. Over a very 10-year period, over $100,000 simply in year one from Romney's plan. I mean, this is absurd at a time when we have a budget deficit and so many people in need in America. This is reverse Robin Hood.
The president gave a bit of a lecture about how we have found ourselves in the economic predicament we're in now and why the American people are experiencing in the middle class a sense of economic shrinkage, certainly of their buying power and their economic potential. Let's listen to that.
Recovering from the crisis of 2008 has always been the first and most urgent order of business, but it's not enough. Our economy won't be truly healthy until we reverse that much longer and profound erosion of middle-class jobs and middle-class incomes. What makes our economy weak is when fewer and fewer people can afford to buy the goods and services our businesses sell. Businesses don't have customers if folks are having such a hard time. What drags us all down is an economy in which there's an ever-widening gap between a few folks who are doing extraordinarily well and a growing number of people who, no matter how hard they work, can barely make ends meet.
Last night on the show, we had Timothy Noah. He's the author of the new book, The Great Divergence, and he points out this complementary fact to what the president was talking about. He says during Democratic presidencies, pre-tax income increased much faster than during Republican presidencies, not just for the 20th percentile, but also for the 40th, the 60th, and the 80th. Americans were richer and more equal. And you saw that, Bob, as Labor Secretary under President Clinton.
Absolutely. I mean, those years, we had the best economy that we have seen in this country over the past 60 years, and we did it because everybody did better. I mean, the rising tide really does literally lift all boats. The president is exactly correct, President Obama, when he says that what we have seen, particularly over the last 30 years, except for the Clinton administration, when we had this little interregnum of something very different, is the wealthy, the top 1%, getting more and more of the total national pie, income and wealth. Almost all the gains of productivity over the last 5 years, 6 years, have gone to the very top. What that means, in effect, is that the middle class, the vast middle class, doesn't have the purchasing power to keep the economy going. The president has proposed over and over again a variety of ways of dealing with this widening gap, this increasing inequality, and Republicans on the Hill have simply said, no, we don't want it. We want the rich to do even better. I mean, trickle-down economics, which is their reigning principle philosophy in terms of economics, that they've said it over and over again, trickle-down economics does not work. It is bunk.
Robert Reich, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Coming up, is Rush Limbaugh working with the Vatican? Now Rush Limbaugh is attacking American nuns. I know who's going to win that fight. Sister Simone will join me, as will Lisa Ling, who's done a close-up report on American nuns. And the weirdest draft dodger ever to run for president is always at his weirdest when he's talking about soldiers, talking about war veterans, like he did today. Mitt Romney gets tonight's rewrite.